Coach Weise, why don't you start out first? Congratulations and general statement on this afternoon's game. And we'll take questions for Coach Weise, the players Chris Vandervest, Austin Sikorski, for Drew Bauer.
Yeah, thank you. I thought it was a good team victory by our guys defensively. To give up or hold them to -2 yards rushing on the day is phenomenal. It's a talented offense. Offensively for us to run the football like that. Obviously, Drew Bauer, Austin Sikorski, Drew Bauer, those guys played well, but our offensive line, our tight ends, and guys in the perimeter did a phenomenal job holding them out of the box and executing our run game. So the first quarter of that football game was back and forth, and we kind of held off a little bit of emotion by those guys out of the locker room and stayed the course. And proud of the way our guys played, proud of the way our defense played, and forced 5 turnovers on the day. Generally you're going to win those football games.
Questions for the coach and the players?
Austin, I was saying to your coach afterwards that watching from the sidelines, I was colder than you guys were, but you ran 3 or 4 plays, and I thought it looked like you were taking a battering. They were pretty vicious, and I thought, geez, it's time for Bauer to keep one to give you a break. And the next play, after I'm thinking that, you went all the way for a touchdown. So obviously, you weren't too bothered by having to carry the ball repeatedly.
No. Yeah, we executed well. O-line did a good job. Drew pulled the ball when he needed to. He did it at the right times, made a bunch of good decisions, and he gave it to me when he needed to. So everything worked out pretty well.
There was a hole you could have driven a truck through on that one, though. I mean, it was a really neat hole, and you just hit it perfectly.
Yeah, it was a short distance, so I think they're coming up. They're playing the box pretty hard, and we did a good job executing the play. It was a big ball, so just did my job.
Drew, happy with your first playoff game performance?
Yeah, it felt very good to get that first win under the belt, and you look forward to keep it rolling into next week.
You guys looked like you were working together pretty well, seeing when to keep, when to go, finding holes. The offensive line was all over them all game.
Yeah, our offensive line played phenomenal. We executed well. Coach gave us an excellent scheme, and we just followed that throughout the game and made adjustments at half and kept following that, and it worked well for us.
What was the big moment for you guys when you guys kind of knew that you'd turn the page second quarter sometime?
In games can change so quickly. I mean, you always got to be out there and pressing on the gas. So we kept pressing on the gas, and our defense played phenomenal. I mean, like Coach said, 5 turnovers. Any defense that can create 5 turnovers, you're going to be in a majority of the game, regardless of how your offense plays.
Drew, how about the your touchdown? I mean, it looked like you were stopped like 3 different times, and all of a sudden you just were in the end zone.
Just kept giving another effort when I was tried. When I was given the opportunity to lowered my shoulder, and the guy kind of bumped me back up and then rolled off it. But guys were play broke down, and they turned up and find a body, and I was just finding ways through.
You've had a lot of nice little runs and touchdowns, but if you had one like that, where, I mean, I don't know, about 8 guys must have had a hand on you.
Not that I can, I guess, necessarily recall specifically.
Maybe in high school, right?
Chris, they moved the ball on you guys a little bit early, and then you guys changed some things and started getting after them quite a bit. It's always fun for D linemen to get to go downfield and get after them, huh?
Oh yeah, Coach Steiger gave us some looks that we got to go upfield, so the D line, we were really happy. Yeah, overall, I think that, yeah, their offense, we didn't really change up much. They just gave us some new looks that we had different things that we had to do. So.
You guys were able to take away the run game, like Coach said, and their coach said the same thing. They just couldn't run the ball on you guys. So once that happened, able to make those turnovers happen?
Right, yeah, we had the good matchups to be able to do that.
Interceptions left and right, guys.
Yeah,
do they go out looking for ball? Like number 1 had a pick right in front of me. It looked like he saw the play the whole way. I mean, were they kind of, did they become readable for you guys maybe midway through the first half?
Yeah, from what I saw, I mean, the ball was up floating for a while. The D-backs were able to trigger on it pretty well.
Do they ball out? And I mean, do you guys have schemes where you're like, okay, they're going to throw here?
In certain situations, yeah, we do, but overall, I think they were just doing a good job playing what they had to do. So.
When did
Hopefully Chris
Coach,
wasn't watching our defensive backs.
Exactly.
yeah, that's true.
I can't talk much about that.
When did Coach Stager start dialing up the blitzes a little bit more?
Yeah, the blitzes, we had a little bit more. We didn't have much in the beginning, but I think into the second quarter, we started having a couple more blitzes. A little bit earlier.
When you guys are almost, tasting blood there?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Steger knew what he had to do to get the pressure, so.
It looked like when they blocked one side of your line, the quarterback would try some deception, turn around, and the other side was caved in, and you guys were right in his face.
Yeah, he just.
They looked puzzled. I mean, like, how come you guys are in there so quick?
Yeah, some of the pressures that we run in that conference, they don't typically run them, so I'm assuming that they didn't exactly know how to block it.
Coach, before the game, I haven't seen that kind of raw emotion from your guys since probably the Mankato game. What was going on? They came all ready to play.
Yeah, I said it pregame, you guys don't need a pregame speech, it's a playoff game at home, and knew it was a tremendous opportunity. Our guys came out of the locker room ready to go, and the first quarter of that game was back and forth, and you could tell early on in the second quarter, the way our defense was playing, getting pressure on the quarterback, forcing turnovers, that it was going to be a long day for Emporia. And, offensively, we were able to control the ball, control the clock, keep it on the ground. I think Drew threw for 35 yards, and we had 551 on offense. So it says a lot about our offensive line, and also the fact that our defense continued to give us the football back. So it gave us a couple short fields that we were able to capitalize on, and played well. It was a team win. You look at, Drew Brees faking a punt. I think it was in the second quarter, converting on a first down. He gets hurt, and we put in Alex Brown, who's only attempted one field goal in his life. He didn't miss one today. So, it was a team win. Everybody rallied behind. Continued to use, running back by committee. Ended up with Bo Bofferty, who hasn't taken the snap of running back since Marshall High School 2 years ago, and put him in the game. He runs for 59 yards. So, overall, it was a team win. Guys were rallied around one another and ready to step up when the next guy needed to go in.
Replicating that kind of emotion, that kind of effort next week is going to be different on the road. Is anything going to change when you have to go to Northwest?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, at this point in the season, our guys understand the caliber of football teams that we're going to play, and we're going to need to come out of the locker room the same way we came out of the locker room this week against Northwest next weekend. They're a quality football team, much like Emporia was, and we need to make sure that we're, have a good game plan heading into this weekend.
You guys, both offense and defense, there seemed to be, on the sideline, it seemed like a pretty nasty game. I mean, there was a lot of yapping. Were they presumably saying things other than how do you stay warm?
Yeah, it was an emotional game. Both sides of the ball work hard to get the playoffs, and you want to kind of seize every opportunity you have and do well. And sometimes the emotions override the thought process and what you probably should do. But overall, I just think we played well. The emotion was high, and we just did well.
Well, when there's some yapping like that, it doesn't exactly cool you off from you being fired up. I mean, they're yapping at you guys, and you just kicked them harder, it seemed like.
Well, I feel like they're yapping at us, but we just got to keep our mouths shut and let our game do the talking, and we did that well in the second half.
Yeah, it's highly motivating when someone's chatting like that.
Especially when you find that, the next play, the quarterback's down with his legs up and little X's where his eyes used to be, right?
Exactly.
Coach, it might be hard to tell at this point, but, I mean, saw a lot of guys go down here. So we got Breeze, Colby, Klein, and Austin didn't play as much in the second half. What happened there? And then, of course, the situation with Luma.
Yeah, it's again, when you play a physical football game on frozen ground, you're going to end up with ankles and shoulders and knees, and it was a physical football game. And honestly, at this point, it's hard to comment on our injury status. It's been like this kind of the second half of the season for us. That really until Thursday, we're not sure kind of who's going to go and who's going to be ready to go. So, hopefully we'll get Logan Lauders back this week at the tailback position. Last week we faced the same situation with Andrew Paddock and Aaron Roth, and both those guys were able to go this week. So hard to comment on the injuries. We'll find out tomorrow, and Mike Winiger and Matt Bauman and Charlotte will need to do a good job this week and work hard. with our guys and make sure that we're as healthy as we can be for Friday when we get on the plane.
Austin, you're fine though, or?
Yep, good.
Okay, so that was more coach's decision, just to rest him a little bit? Okay.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of an ankle, he's had an ankle injury for the last 3 weeks.
He didn't look like it on that long run.
No, he didn't, but it's, when you're running on frozen ground and you have your defense playing the way that we did, we knew we weren't gonna lose that football game early on. And, at that point, we needed to kind of hand the keys over to a couple other guys, Chaz Thomas and Teron Johnson and Steve Iruli, and those guys needed to carry us into that second half, and those guys did a good job. Again, it was important for other guys today to step up, some of them even in roles that they weren't real familiar with Alex Brown and Bo Bofferty, and they did a good job executing. So
I was told Boomer would have to sit out a half. Can you confirm that, or?
we got to check on the rule for sure. Boomer made a poor decision, something that's uncharacteristic for him and also uncharacteristic of a football team. And it's not something we're proud of. It's a learning experience for us. It's a learning experience for Boomer, and he shouldn't have done it. Like Austin said earlier, sometimes the emotion of the football game can get the best of you, and that's something we generally pride ourselves on at UMD and as a program. And it was a mistake by Boomer, and we all have to learn from it and not put ourselves in that situation again.
You expect Logan back next week?
We expect Logan Waters back next week.
Did the referees explain to you what they saw with football? We just couldn't tell, was it?
Yeah, they said Boomer threw a punch, and what goes on in the bottom of the pile is sometimes hard to say. Boomer, regardless of what happened on the bottom of the pile, Boomer made a bad decision. He shouldn't have done it, and he's him and our football team are going to have to pay the price for it.
I know you guys have the 24-hour rule where you enjoy the game, but you go from being the home favorites today to being against the top seed in the region next week. I mean, do you guys going in as an underdog role, is that good for you guys, or do you guys not look at it that way?
I guess it doesn't really matter to us if we're underdog or if we're ranked higher, if we're home or what. We should go out and play our game, execute as an offense, defense, stop them, and play bulldog football.
Bit of a history with them. Bit of a history with this team, guys.
He's the only guy over here that's talent, so.
Yeah, Northwest, we've had some battles with them in 2008, 2010, and we'll have another opportunity to play them. We have not had an opportunity, I don't think, since 2002 to play them at their home stadium. So our guys will be excited to get on playing on Friday. The guys that we have healthy, and we're going to go down and give them a battle Saturday afternoon.
A little warmer weather too.
Any other questions?
I guess last thing, Coach, most of your top games, it seems like you played a little bit better at home. How can you just get that little bit extra on the road?
Yeah, I know, sometimes you put too much stock into playing at home and playing on the road. We were fortunate today to play in front of an energetic crowd. I thought our crowd did a good job getting behind us from the start. But in the same sense, when the whistle blows, you're still playing on the same field, whether it's at Northwest Missouri State or at Moorhead State or at Minot State or at Mulaski Stadium. So our guys will be ready to go. We'll have a good game plan, ready to be executed on Saturday.
Really great deal to choose from between the Northwest and Mankato.
Doesn't make a difference.